Hey everyone, and welcome to the South Carolina Bio briefing room. I'm here with one of SCbio's newest investors, York Exponential, and CEO John McElligott. Hey John, we're glad to have you with us here today.
Thank you for inviting me on, Morgan. I appreciate it.
So tell us a little bit more about York Exponential.
Sure. York Exponential is what's called a collaborative robotics company. So we primarily focus on robots that are designed to work in human spaces or alongside people. So they're safe to be around, easier to program. The first generation of kind of this big jump in technology in robotics and humans working together. Our larger mission, though, is to build America's first American-made robotics manufacturing ecosystem. Right now, a lot of the robots are made overseas. We believe that that's a national security issue, but now you can actually see with what's happening with the pandemic, the need to be able to rapidly adapt our manufacturing base and ecosystem has never been more critical. So really building solid and advanced American technologies to bring manufacturing back to the United States, especially in an effort to meet demands like this and create a more resilient nation.
Absolutely. Well, we are excited that you are looking to further expand into South Carolina, being a company from York Exponential. And South Carolina has such deep roots in manufacturing. But why South Carolina Bio as one of our new investors? What was the incentive to join SCbio and to become a part of South Carolina?
So honestly, we're a very mission-driven company, so we don't typically do things unless it aligns with our mission. And a big part of what we're trying to do is the impact the lives of regular people. We have a licensed college that's training the first generation of robot mechanics, so we want to rebuild the middle class around robotics. But quite frankly, there seemed to be a lot of overlap with the mission of what we were trying to accomplish in strengthening the American economy and a lot of the work that SCbio is doing. This idea that we can help augment the pharmaceutical industry and life sciences down in South Carolina actually means we can help save American lives. And so this was a part of our thought pattern when we were first starting to think about it. But now with what's happening with the coronavirus and the pandemic and this big push to bring especially the manufacturing of pharmaceuticals and medical devices back to the United States, South Carolina made a lot of sense. Plus, we fell in love with the state. The people are very friendly. And you did not stop until we joined. So you did a great job on that side. So it was a combination of all of those things together.
Listen to that, Sam. That's right. Well, we are so glad to have you all as investors. And then you're going to bring a real niche role to our investor base. And so, we are in these unprecedented times, and a lot of companies are dealing with a new realm of unprecedented challenges, including their workforce. And so, especially now, why should companies look into to automate and augment?
Yeah, so the reality is this. Many of the jobs that have been done in traditional manufacturing, I'm sure in a lot of the facilities and plants, are that kind of repetitive work. Maybe it's some dull, dirty, dangerous, the same old, same old. And we had a massive work gap before, but I think what's going to happen right now is robotics and the discussion around robotics and AI is going to get pushed to the forefront. If we're going to be able to adapt and grow as fast as we need to, bring manufacturing back, bring pharmaceutical production, the reality is we're not going to be able to do it with just people alone. We're going to have to use an augmentation strategy where we use technologies like robotics and AI and combine that with the workforce that we have. But what that's going to mean is we're going to have to upskill a whole new generation to be able to work alongside, install, service, and maintain that technology. So one of the reasons we really double down on robotics instead of something like computer programming is robotics represents what we consider the first truly inclusive technology ecosystem. You need PhDs all the way down to people that are good with their hands. So a big part of our mission is to use robotics to create the first generation, as I said, of robot mechanics, but really it's to rebuild the middle class around the implementation and growth of this technology, which hasn't been really the narrative up until this point. Most of the time, people have thought robots are going to take people's jobs. But what we found is a lot of kids don't want to do those same jobs. So in a lot of cases, people have been doing robots jobs. People are amazing. They can create, they can love, they can problem solve. And so we have a whole new generation that has grown up with technology. Their minds move very, very quickly. So to expect them to do the job of a robot, I think is a losing strategy. But if we can add robotics and AI that show unlimited growth potential, unlimited economic growth, plus it's cool. You add robots to something and the kids seem to love it. If you were to tell me in 2019 and 2020 box office records would be being broken, I'd say you're crazy with streaming, but it's all superhero movies. So these kids are growing up seeing this technology in the screen in front of them. And the reality is that will most likely be the kinds of things they're doing. So with great power comes great responsibility. So let's harness this love of emerging technologies, but let's make sure we focus it in the right direction so that people have jobs, they can help rebuild the economy, create a sustainable industry. And I think one of the things that's been shown right now, we really need to focus on resilience. This ability to weather storms like this is going to be critical. So I think that goes back to one of our passions in South Carolina, helping the companies and a lot of your members be able to produce more and be more productive. Really means that if something like this happens again, South Carolina can be uniquely positioned to meet the demands of the nation and, quite frankly, save a lot of communities and save a lot of lives.
Absolutely. Well, workforce is a cause near and dear to my heart as well, and we just appreciate all that you're doing on your Exponential's front to help defeat this pandemic and set us up to be resilient when the next wave of a pandemic or a disaster hits. So thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. We're excited to have you as one of our new SCbio investors and look forward to further collaboration and partnership this year.
Thank you, Morgan, so much.